The massive battleship floated silently in the darkness of space, hidden behind the moon's shadow. Its black hull absorbed what little light reached it, making it nearly invisible against the void. The UES Vengeance was humanity's last hope, and Captain James Walker knew it. He stood on the bridge, his gray eyes fixed on Earth's image on the main screen. The once blue planet now showed ugly brown scars where the Council's weapons had struck. Massive clouds of dust still circled the planet, hiding most of the destruction below. "Status report," Walker commanded, his voice firm despite the weight on his shoulders. "All systems are green, Captain." The ship's AI, Eve, responded. Her voice was calm and clear. "Our stealth systems are working perfectly. The Council's ships still haven't detected us." Walker nodded, running his hand through his short gray hair. At 55, he was one of the most experienced captains left in Earth's fleet. Now he was the only captain left. The communication screen lit up suddenly, showing an underground bunker. Admiral Tom Stone's face appeared, looking tired but determined. "Captain Walker, this is our final transmission." "Sir," Walker straightened up. "The Council thinks they've won," Stone said, his voice bitter. "They think they've destroyed all our major weapons. They don't know about the Vengeance. They don't know about Project Phoenix." Walker glanced at the sealed orders on his tablet. "The quantum weapon is ready, sir." "Yes, Dr. Reed finished the final tests yesterday." Stone leaned closer to the screen. "Listen carefully, James. The Council didn't just attack us because they feared our technology. They attacked because they saw what we could become. What we will become." The bridge crew worked quietly at their stations, but Walker knew they were all listening. 200 of Earth's best, chosen for this final mission. "Your orders are simple," Stone continued. "Take the Vengeance deep into Council space. Use the quantum weapon on their central worlds. Show them why they should have never attacked Earth." "What about the civilian populations, sir?" Stone's face hardened. "The Council showed no mercy to our civilians, Captain, but we're not them. The quantum weapon doesn't kill. It disrupts their technology, their ships, their weapons. Let them live to remember their mistake." "Understood, sir." Walker's grip tightened on his chair's armrest. "What about Earth's resistance? We'll keep fighting from the ground. When you strike, we'll rise up. The Council will find themselves fighting on two fronts." Stone looked over his shoulder suddenly. "They're coming. Remember, Captain, you carry humanity's future with you. Make them pay for what they've done." Stone out. The screen went dark. Walker stood in silence for a moment, then turned to his crew. "Eve, start the engines. Lieutenant Ross, plot a course through the Arcturus Gap. That's where their defense line is weakest." "Course plotted, sir," Ross replied from the navigation station. "The Council's patrol ships are on their usual route. We have a 10-minute window." Walker pressed a button on his chair, connecting to the ship's intercom. "All hands, this is the captain speaking. For 3 months, we've hidden and prepared. We've watched our homes burn. We've lost friends and family. But today, we stop hiding." He paused, looking at the determination on his crew's faces. "The Council thinks they know everything about us. They think humans are primitive, predictable, weak. Today, we prove them wrong. Today, we start taking back what's ours." "Main engines ready," Eve announced. "Stealth systems at maximum efficiency. Weapon systems checked and ready," reported Officer Mike Black from Tactical. Walker sat in his command chair, his face set with fierce determination. "Humanity has always survived against impossible odds. We faced extinction-level events, ice ages, and our own near destruction. But we always survived. We always came back stronger." He looked at Earth one last time as the Vengeance prepared to leave its hiding spot. "Take us out, Eve. Full power to stealth systems. Let's show the Council why they should have never started this fight." The massive battleship moved silently away from the moon's shadow, its black hull blending perfectly with space. As they accelerated toward the jump point, Walker allowed himself a small smile. The Council had no idea what was coming for them. The hunt had begun. The UES Vengeance slipped through space like a ghost. 3 Council patrol ships passed nearby, their sensors sweeping the area, but they saw nothing. Inside the bridge, Captain Walker watched their green dots move across the tactical screen. "Their sensors are primitive," Eve said, her voice showing a hint of pride. "They're still using standard radiation detection. They can't see our quantum-shifted hull." Officer Black chuckled at his tactical station. "They're looking for engine heat. We don't make any." Walker nodded, but kept his eyes on the screen. The Arcturus Gap was ahead, a weak point in the Council's defense line. But getting there meant passing through a field of automated sensor buoys. "Eve, time to test our new tricks," Walker ordered. "Show me what you can do with their sensors." The ship's AI went to work. The Vengeance's computers reached out, touching each sensor buoy they passed. Instead of blocking their signals, Eve fed them false data. Empty space where the ship was, and false signals elsewhere. "Council ships are changing course," Ross reported from navigation. "They're chasing our fake signals." Walker allowed himself a small smile. Human AI technology was decades ahead of the Council's. They thought they were so superior, but they'd never bothered to really study Earth's capabilities. Suddenly, alarms blared across the bridge. "New contact," Black shouted. "Heavy cruiser, bearing 047. A massive Council warship appeared ahead of them, its purple-black hull decorated with the gold symbols of the Council's elite fleet. It was twice the size of the Vengeance. "They're powering weapons," Eve reported calmly. Walker leaned forward in his chair. "Time to show them what we can do." "Eve, battle stations. Power up the main gun." Red lights flashed as the crew rushed to their battle stations. The Vengeance's special armor plates shifted, revealing rows of hidden weapon ports. The Council ship fired first, a blast of purple energy that would have cut through normal shields. But the Vengeance's quantum-shifted shields absorbed the hit like it was nothing. "Their weapons are based on standard physics," Eve explained. "Our shields operate on different rules." "Return fire," Walker ordered. "Let's show them those rules." The Vengeance's main gun charged with a high-pitched whine. A beam of blue-white energy shot out, splitting into multiple streams that curved around the Council ship's shields like water. The beams struck the bigger ship's hull directly. "Direct hits," Black reported with satisfaction. "Their power systems are failing." A Council ship tried to turn away, but more hits from the Vengeance's secondary guns took out its engines. Walker watched as the mighty vessel drifted helpless in space. "Send the message," he ordered. Eve transmitted a short video to the damaged ship. It showed scenes from Earth's destruction. Cities burning, civilians running from Council bombs, hospitals full of wounded. The final image was the symbol of Earth's resistance. "Let them think about that while they wait for rescue," Walker said. "Plot our next jump, Lieutenant Ross. We're headed deeper into their space." As they prepared to jump, emergency signals burst from the Council ship. More vessels were responding, rushing to help their wounded comrade. "Multiple ships approaching," Eve announced. "They're calling for all nearby forces to converge on our position." Walker smiled grimly. "Good. Let them come. Each ship we draw away from Earth gives our people there a better chance." The Vengeance's jump drive powered up, creating a tunnel of blue energy ahead. Before they jumped, Walker sent one last look at the crippled Council ship. "They thought we'd be an easy conquest," he said quietly. "They never bothered to learn about humanity's history, about how we react when pushed into a corner." "Jump drive ready," Ross announced. "Take us in," Walker ordered. "Next stop is their primary supply base in Sector 7. Time to show them what one Earth ship can really do." The Vengeance disappeared into the jump point, leaving behind a scene of chaos. As Council ships rushed to their wounded comrade, urgent messages raced across their networks. Humans had weapons that ignored their best defenses. Humans had stealth technology they couldn't detect. Humans were coming. For the first time in centuries, the mighty Galactic Council felt something they hadn't experienced in a very long time. Fear. The UES Vengeance drifted silently above the Council's archive world. Below them, massive crystal towers stretched into the clouds, each one holding thousands of years of Council records. After destroying the planet's orbital defenses, they had a small window of time before reinforcements arrived. Scanning the central archive now, Eve reported, "Their security is good, but not good enough." Captain Walker stood at his command station, watching the data flow across his screen. "What are we looking for?" "Anything about Earth," Officer Black suggested. "Why they really attacked us." Eve's voice changed slightly, showing excitement. "Captain, I found something. Records from 50 years ago, when they first discovered Earth." The main screen filled with Council text, quickly translated by Eve. Walker's eyes widened as he read. "Show me more." More documents appeared, secret reports, hidden studies, classified orders. The truth began to emerge, piece by piece. "They were watching us for decades," Walker said, his voice tight with anger. "Not just watching, interfering." The evidence was clear. The Council had sabotaged Earth's development, secretly destroying promising research, causing accidents in key laboratories. They had hidden the truth about faster-than-light travel, keeping humanity trapped in their own solar system. "Look at this," Ross called from her station. "Data about other worlds. Human worlds." New images appeared on the screen. Ancient ruins on distant planets, all showing clear human architecture. Tools, weapons, artwork, all undeniably human in origin. "They lied to everyone," Walker said quietly. "Humans had already reached the stars, thousands of years ago. The Council found our old colonies and buried the evidence." Eve continued digging through the archives. "Captain, you need to see this. It's their first report about modern Earth." The report showed Earth's rapid technological progress over the last century. The Council had watched in growing fear as humans solved problems that had taken other races millennia to figure out. Their scientists predicted we would surpass Council technology within 50 years, Eve explained. "That's why they attacked. They couldn't risk letting us grow stronger." Suddenly, alarms blared across the bridge. Multiple ships dropping out of jump space. Black shouted, "Council heavy fleet incoming." Walker straightened up. "Eve, do you have everything?" "Yes, Captain. All relevant data has been copied and analyzed." "Good. Send it all to Earth. Every resistance cell, every underground network. Let everyone see the truth." The bridge crew worked quickly, preparing for battle. But Walker had one more order. "Eve, send it to the Council worlds too. All of them. Let their own people see what their leaders did." "Message sent," Eve confirmed. "The truth is out there now. They can't hide it anymore." The first Council ships appeared, massive dreadnoughts designed to crush any resistance. But Walker wasn't worried. The Vengeance had proven it could handle anything they sent. "They're demanding our surrender," Eve reported. Walker laughed. "Send them one message. Humanity remembers." The Vengeance's engines powered up, its weapons ready for another fight. As they prepared for battle, Walker thought about what they'd discovered. Humans weren't just fighting for survival now. They were fighting to reclaim their heritage. "All hands, battle stations," he ordered. "Today we fight not just for Earth, but for every human world they tried to make us forget. For every achievement they tried to steal from us." The Council ships opened fire, their weapons lighting up space. But the Vengeance was already moving, its superior technology making it almost untouchable. "They feared us because they knew what we could become," Walker said as the first counterstrikes landed. Time to show them their fears were justified. The battle began in earnest, but something had changed. The crew fought with new purpose, new understanding. They weren't just Earth's last hope. They were the descendants of a star-faring race that had been robbed of its destiny. And now, finally, humanity was taking it back. As the Vengeance engaged the Council fleet, Eve quietly continued broadcasting the truth to every corner of Council space. The lies were exposed. The truth was free. The real war was just beginning. The UES Vengeance emerged from jump space near the Kepler system, home of the Rock Dwellers. These beings had lived under Council rule for centuries, mining precious metals from their asteroid belts. Captain Walker had chosen them as their first potential allies. "They're responding to our signal," Eve announced. "Their mining stations are heavily armed." "Open a channel," Walker ordered. "Let's show them what we found." The main screen lit up with the image of a rock dweller leader, a tall, crystalline being with glowing blue eyes. Walker sent them the proof they'd discovered in the Council archives. Evidence of how the Council had been stealing their resources and keeping them as slaves for generations. "The Council lied to us all," Walker explained. "They've kept every species down, stealing our achievements, hiding our true potential." The rock dweller's crystal body pulsed with angry red light as they viewed the evidence. Their response came in a deep, rumbling voice. "We have waited long for this moment. Our weapons are yours." Within hours, the massive mining ships of the rock dwellers joined the Vengeance. Their powerful mining lasers, designed to cut through asteroids, could easily slice through Council ships. But they weren't done yet. A new signal caught their attention. "Captain," Eve said urgently, "I'm picking up a transmission from a Council research station. It's on a hidden frequency." The message came from Dr. Marcus Reed, one of the Council's top scientists. He had helped design many of their weapons, but the truth about Earth had changed everything. "I can't be part of their lies anymore," Dr. Reed's message said. "I want to help. I know their weaknesses. I know how to beat them." Walker was cautious. It could be a trap. But Eve had already analyzed the message. "He's genuine, Captain. His code signatures match Council records, but he's disabled all tracking devices." They picked up Dr. Reed from the research station. He brought with him detailed plans of Council defense systems, and more importantly, news of other rebellions starting across Council space. "Your broadcast of the truth changed everything," Reed explained on the bridge. He was a tall, thin man with tired eyes. "Many Council worlds are questioning their leaders. Some are already in open revolt." Walker gathered his officers and their new allies. The rock dweller commander, now named Mountain Heart by the crew, towered over them all. "We're not alone anymore," Walker said. "Eve, show us the new map." A hologram appeared, showing Council space. Red dots appeared everywhere, places where resistance had begun. The Council's perfect order was breaking down. More ships approaching, Black reported suddenly. But these weren't Council vessels. 3 sleek ships dropped out of jump space. They belonged to the Shadowrunners, a species the Council had branded as pirates. In reality, they had been fighting the Council's rule for years. "We saw your message," their leader said over the comm. "We want to join the fight." More ships arrived. Vessels from a dozen different species. Each had seen the truth in the archives. Each had their own score to settle with the Council. Dr. Reed worked with Eve, combining human AI technology with the knowledge of their new allies. The Vengeance became the center of a growing fleet. "The Council's greatest weapon was keeping us apart," Walker told his expanded crew, "making each species think they were alone. That's over now." Mountain Heart's crystal body glowed with determination. "Together, we are stronger than their lies." The Shadowrunner ships demonstrated their stealth technology, even more advanced in some ways than Earth's. The rock dwellers' mining ships converted into powerful warships. Dr. Reed's knowledge helped them bypass Council defenses. "Multiple Council fleets converging on this sector," Eve reported. "They know what we're doing." Walker looked at his new allies. Beams of crystal, shadow, and light, all united against a common enemy. "Let them come. We're not hiding anymore." The combined fleet moved into formation around the Vengeance. Human determination, rock dweller strength, Shadowrunner stealth, and the burning desire for freedom shared by all. It was a force the Council had never expected. "All ships," Walker commanded, "prepare for jump. We're taking this fight to their doorstep." As they jumped away, news of their alliance spread across Council space. The message was clear. The Age of Lies was ending. The revolution had begun. The combined fleet dropped out of jump space near the Council's main military base. The UEA's Vengeance led the way, its black hull now marked with the symbols of all their allies. Behind it, rock-dweller mining ships and shadow runner vessels moved into position. "Time to show them what the quantum weapon can really do," Captain Walker said. "Dr. Reed, are you ready?" The Council scientist looked up from his station. "The calculations are complete. Eve helped me modify the weapon. It will affect their entire defense network." On the main screen, they could see hundreds of Council ships forming a defensive wall. Massive space stations powered up their weapons. Under normal circumstances, it would be suicide to attack such a force. But these weren't normal circumstances. "Mountain Heart," Walker called to the Rock Dweller commander, "is your fleet in position?" The crystalline being's voice rumbled through the comm. "We are ready. Our mining lasers will cut through anything that survives your weapon." Eve's voice held a note of concern. "Captain, the quantum weapon will drain most of our power. We'll be vulnerable for 2 minutes while the systems reset." "That's why we're not doing this alone anymore," Walker replied. He looked at the tactical display, where shadow runner ships were already invisible to Council sensors, moving into protective positions around the Vengeance. "All ships, battle positions," Walker ordered. "Dr. Reed, begin the countdown." The quantum weapon powered up, drawing energy from the Vengeance's main reactor. Blue light pulsed along special circuits throughout the ship. "Council fleet is launching fighters," Black reported. "They're trying to overwhelm us with numbers." Walker nodded calmly. "Let them come closer. Eve, show me the targeting display." A hologram appeared, showing waves of energy spreading out from their position. The quantum weapon didn't just attack ships. It changed the rules of physics itself. 10 seconds to firing," Dr. Reed announced. His hands moved quickly over the controls, making final adjustments. The Council ships opened fire. Energy beams and plasma torpedoes streaked toward them. But the Shadow Runner's advanced shields held, protecting the Vengeance during its most vulnerable moment. "Quantum weapon at full power," Eve reported. "Firing." There was no bright flash, no explosive sound. Instead, waves of blue energy rippled out from the Vengeance, spreading like rings in a pond. Where they touched Council ships, strange things began to happen. "Their power systems are failing," Dr. Reed said, watching his displays with satisfaction. "The quantum field is disrupting their energy patterns." Council ships began to drift, their engines dead. Defense stations went dark. Even their emergency systems failed to work in the changed physics of space around them. "Phase 2, Walker commanded. "Mountain Heart, you're up." The Rock Dweller ships moved forward, their mining lasers now repurposed as weapons. They cut through the helpless Council vessels with surgical precision, disabling but not destroying them. "Council commanders are sending panic signals," Eve reported. "Their quantum communications are failing across 3 sectors." Walker stood from his chair, watching as the mighty Council fleet drifted helplessly. "Send the message to all frequencies." His voice broadcast across space. "This is Captain Walker of the UES Vengeance. Your weapons are disabled. Your ships are powerless. But we're not like you. We don't kill helpless enemies." The Shadow Runner ships decloaked, showing the Council commanders how completely they had been outmaneuvered. "The quantum effect will fade in 1 hour," Walker continued. "When it does, remember this: every lie you told, every species you oppressed, has come back to haunt you. This is just the beginning." On his tactical screen, Walker could see more Council fleets jumping in from other sectors. But they jumped into the quantum field's effect, their ships becoming powerless the moment they arrived. "The weapon worked better than we hoped," Dr. Reed said quietly. With this, we can disable their entire defense network, sector by sector. Walker nodded. Send the battle records to every resistance cell in Council space. Show them that the Council isn't invincible anymore. As emergency signals filled space around them, the combined fleet prepared to jump to their next target. The Council's military backbone was broken. Their perfect order was shattered. The revolution was winning. The UEA's vengeance and its allied fleet had just finished disabling another Council base when the emergency signal came through. Eve's voice was unusually urgent. Captain, priority message from Earth Resistance. Admiral Stone needs to speak with you immediately. Walker's heart sank. Something was wrong. The main screen showed Admiral Stone's face, now streaked with dust and blood. Explosions could be heard in the background. They've lost their minds. Walker, Stone said, his voice shaking. The Council, they've revealed their doomsday weapon, a planet killer. The bridge went silent. Mountain Heart's crystalline form darkened with concern. Dr. Reed's face turned pale. Show me, Walker ordered. The screen changed to show a massive Council ship, unlike anything they'd seen before. It was shaped like a dark star, with 5 pointed arms, each longer than Earth's moon. At its center glowed an ominous purple light. They're calling it the World Ender, Dr. Reed said quietly. I helped design part of it years ago. We were told it was for mining dead planets. They're demanding our complete surrender. Stone continued. All resistance must end in 12 hours, or they'll use it on Earth. They say they'll make an example of us. Walker's fists clenched. Can the quantum weapon stop it? Dr. Reed shook his head. It's powered by a different technology. Dark energy. The quantum field won't affect it. Captain, Eve interrupted. I'm detecting the World Ender moving toward Earth. Estimated arrival time. 10 hours. Walker faced his crew and allies. Options. The Shadowrunner commander spoke first. Our stealth ships could try to get close, plant explosives. Their sensors are too good, Dr. Reed replied. They'd see you coming. Mountain Heart's deep voice rumbled. Our mining lasers at full power might crack their outer shell. The inner core would still function, Dr. Reed said. We'd need to hit the central chamber directly. Walker studied the World Ender schematics. The Council had built it well, protecting it against every known form of attack. But they had one weakness: their own arrogance. Eve, he said suddenly, show me their command center. The display zoomed in on the World Ender's central section. Unlike normal Council ships, this one had living commanders on board, the Council's highest leaders. They want to watch personally, Walker realized. They want to see Earth die. Dr. Reed nodded. The Council High Speaker himself is probably there. They always love to witness their greatest moments of power. A plan began forming in Walker's mind. It was dangerous, maybe impossible, but they were out of options. Eve, he ordered, calculate a micro-jump. I want to land the Vengeance directly inside their main docking bay. Captain, Black protested. Their point defenses would tear us apart. Not if we time it perfectly with the Rock Dwellers' attack, Walker said. Mountain Heart, can your ships hit them with everything you have? We need them distracted. The crystalline being glowed with determination. It shall be done. Shadowrunners, Walker continued. I need your ships to create chaos in their sensor grid. Make them see threats everywhere. The stealthy ship's commander nodded. We will give them 1,000 targets to chase. Dr. Reed studied the plan. It might work. Their docking bay shields have to lower when ships land. If we time the jump exactly right, we'll have 3 seconds, Eve calculated. Any longer, and their internal defenses will destroy us. Walker opened a channel to all ships. This is our moment. The Council thinks they can still win through fear. They think their big weapon makes them invincible. Let's prove them wrong. The Allied fleet moved into position. Rock Dweller ships spread out in attack formation. Shadow runners disappeared from view, their advanced tech creating false signals across space. Message from the World Ender, Eve reported. The High Speaker demands our surrender. Walker smiled grimly. Send them my answer. Humanity doesn't surrender. The bridge crew strapped in. The quantum weapon powered up one last time, not to disable the World Ender, but to clear their path through the Council's defensive screen. All hands, Walker commanded, prepare for combat. Today we save Earth, or die trying. The final battle was about to begin. Space erupted into chaos around the World Ender. Rock-dweller ships attacked from all directions, their mining lasers cutting through the massive vessel's outer defenses. Shadow runner vessels appeared and disappeared, confusing the enemy's targeting systems with hundreds of false signals. Inside the UES Vengeance, Captain Walker gripped his command chair. Eve, start the jump countdown. Jump calculations complete, Eve replied. Warning, ship integrity will be severely stressed by this maneuver. The World Ender's massive weapons fired, purple beams of dark energy slicing through space. 2 rock-dweller ships exploded, but the others kept attacking, kept drawing the enemy's fire. Now, Walker commanded. The Vengeance vanished in a flash of blue light. For a split second, the ship existed in jump space. Then it reappeared, directly inside the World Ender's main docking bay. Hull breach, Black shouted as alarms screamed. We lost the outer armor layer. Security teams approaching the docking bay, Eve reported calmly. 3 minutes until their heavy weapons arrive. Walker stood up. Eve, initiate Protocol Phoenix. The AI's voice changed, becoming softer. Captain, you know what that means. The ship's quantum core will overload. I won't survive. You'll save Earth, Walker replied. You'll save everyone. Eve was quiet for a moment. It has been an honor, Captain. Initiating Protocol Phoenix. The ship's quantum core began to pulse with bright blue light. Energy readings went off the scale. All hands, evacuate, Walker ordered. Mountain Heart, send pickup ships to these coordinates. Dr. Reed, you know what to do. The Council's security forces burst into the docking bay, only to find the Vengeance's crew already gone, rescued by perfectly timed Shadow Runner passes. But Walker stayed on the bridge. Eve, show me the Council chamber. The screen lit up, showing the Council High Speaker and his commanders. They were panicking, finally realizing what was happening. You! The High Speaker's voice boomed through the comm. What have you done? What you forced us to do, Walker replied calmly. Eve, open all channels. Let everyone hear this. The AI complied, broadcasting across all frequencies. Walker's voice reached every ship, every planet in range. You thought you could break humanity through fear, he said. You thought your big weapons and ancient power made you invincible, but you forgot something important. The quantum core's pulsing grew stronger. Eve's voice was fading. 30 seconds to overload, Captain. You should leave. Walker ignored her. You forgot that humans have fought impossible odds before. You forgot that we never surrender, never stop fighting for what's right. The High Speaker's face showed real fear now. You'll die too. Maybe, Walker smiled, but Earth will live, and your lies die here. 10 seconds, Eve whispered. Captain, thank you for letting me be part of this. Thank you, Eve, Walker replied softly. Then to everyone listening, remember this day. Remember that freedom won. Remember that humanity never. The Vengeance's quantum core exploded. But this wasn't a normal explosion. The quantum energy spread like a wave through the World Ender systems, changing the very structure of space-time inside the massive ship. When it was over, the World Ender's central section had simply ceased to exist, along with the Council's leadership and their planet-killing weapon. The threat to Earth was gone. In the aftermath, Shadow Runner ships picked up a single escape pod. Inside, they found Captain Walker, barely alive. Eve had used her last moments to teleport him to safety, giving her life to save his. 1 month later, Walker stood on Earth's surface again. The dust clouds were clearing. Around him, humans and aliens worked together, rebuilding. The Council was gone, replaced by a new alliance of free species. Was it worth it? Admiral Stone asked, standing beside him. Walker watched as a rock-dweller crystal ship landed nearby, bringing supplies. Shadow Runner vessels patrolled the sky, now protecting Earth instead of hiding from the Council. Eve would have thought so, he replied. She believed in humanity's potential. They all do now. Above them, the stars shone brighter somehow, no longer hidden behind the Council's lies. Humanity had reclaimed its place among them, not as conquerors, but as guardians of freedom. The price had been high, but the future was worth it. The future was free.